Well, it's been a while since we've done a video, and mostly we've all been shut in with our books and movies and internet. I wanted to talk a minute today about a print we all know a great deal about. You'll recognize this is a copy of Parallel Lives in the section called The Sitting Room. And this is where the black sofa of doom had been moved out, where Andrew Borden was killed. What we're going to talk about today is the steel engraving that was hanging over the sofa. And when the antique shops are open and we can all get out and about again, this is a wonderful treasure to try to track down. I have seen 3 of them in my years of Lizzie interest. This has been the best one that I found in an antique shop, sorry about the glare, in Old Saybrook, Connecticut. And you'll recognize the famous Village Elms Sunday Morning in New England by Fitch Bellows, who was a Massachusetts artist. Yes, hello Lizzie, she's listening. And this was done toward the end of Bellows' life. Around 1878 is the date on this steel plate engraving. This particular one is unusual. I was very excited to find it because it's actually signed by Bellows and by the engraver who engraved the steel plate, whose name was James Guthrie. When we take a look at the topic matter, you see it looks like after maybe church has ended on a Sunday and people are walking out. There's one church, you see the white steeple, looks like a congregational church. There's also another church here in the middle. Horses and buggies. A very New England. There's a house which is called a salt box, very peculiar to New England. This one I paid, it was on sale, $82 for. At auction it goes from anywhere between $600 to $800. I knew what it was. Most antique dealers, especially outside of Massachusetts, do not know what this print is, and so you may find yourself a real deal. This one is mounted on flannelette. I was very surprised when I took it out to frame it. This is another one I found 2 years ago. You can see it has yellowed. These are not copies or prints, these are originals. This one has not been signed, and you can see it's probably been in an attic and has gotten very sort of a mustard color. This one is mounted, as you can see here, on canvas. It's tacked right to a board, and this one was actually in this wonderful frame. But when I found the second one, which I have put in this frame, it was so much nicer that I thought, yeah, you can really see the detail. I love especially the lady and the young girl under the tree here. Wonderful detail. While we're looking at this, I'll show you the older one here. This one I think I paid $100 for, with the frame. Tell you a little bit about Alfred Fitch Bellows, who was born in 1829 in Milton, Massachusetts. Made a few notes here. They call him an outstanding 19th century American landscape artist, and you'll see lots of his steel engravings and artwork online if you just type in Alfred Fitch Bellows, Bellows. He was at one time the principal of the New England School of Design in Boston and remained there from 1850 to 56. He studied in Paris and Antwerp at the Royal Academy and was elected to the Royal Society of Painters in Belgium a few years later. He lived and worked mainly in Boston until the Great Fire of 1872, and that's what destroyed his studio there. So he moved to New York, had a studio on 4th Avenue, and very, very successful. When I framed this one here on the wall, there was a little sticker with the New York studio address on the back in a little oval. You can get copies. If you visit the Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast, you will see it hanging over the sofa. It's been there pretty much, I believe, since the B&B opened. The engraving was identified by Len Ribello in the early 90s, and this was before the B&B opened to the public. This was early 90s. And an article was published about this print and about Bellows in the old Lizzie Borden Quarterly. So, be on the lookout. I'm going to send you a link. I'll be publishing a link right under this little video about where you can get a copy. And I know these are not hard to find, in New England especially. It was a very popular print. I also found one for $400 in New Bedford at the Cove Antiques. And if you can't find an old 1878 one, you can get a new one and just tell everybody it's an old antique. So, you want to add to the ambiance in your Lizzie room? This is for you.